For the basic map, we will grab city and sold price, and we'll let Tableau make the map for us. One thing I'm not sure Chapter 5 showed very well is how to kind of get around the map. This is interesting. We got one up in Glendale that's obviously been geocoded wrong. Glendale is not in that part of the state. Glendale will be here, and that's going to happen. Data is not always perfect, and this is real data. The book talked about scrolling in and out with the mouse, but there are other ways over here to get around. This one lets you grab the map and move it. The problem with the original location, if I scroll in and I wanted to scroll into Milwaukee County, this isn't doing me any good. But if I take that ability to move the map, I can move it over here, and then I can scroll in to whatever I want to scroll in on. So that's kind of useful. Then they also have the zoom. So I can zoom in on any area I want and still use the mouse to zoom back and forth. But now when I try to do this, I can't move the map around anymore. It's on the zoom setting. I have to go back to that setting. Again, the mouse button still works, but that's how I can control where the map shows up. This is the very basic size of the circle. Shows, in this case, the sum of the sold prices, which over 5 years isn't necessarily telling us much, so I'm going to go back to average. That's a little more interesting to me. So you get an idea of which cities had the most, or which towns or cities had the most expensive property in this data set. If I bring in county instead of city, let's do a different one. County, sold price, and do the heat map. Oh, I brought in the wrong county. Sorry. Well, I'm going to leave this mistake in here so you can see what I did. This reminds us about data. The data that came into here, let's go back to the data source. This is real estate data, and it has a county code. I know what this stands for because I know the local area. KEN, Kenosha County, MIL, Milwaukee County. That's not particularly good data for Tableau to understand. So I added the county FIPS. FIPS codes are geographic location codes. 55 is the code for Wisconsin, and then 079 is the code for Milwaukee County. Geographic locations from census blocks and census tracts right up to states have FIPS codes. So we'll scroll down far enough, you can find a difference. So we can see a different county. Oh, maybe we can't on this one. It won't let us scroll far enough. So I just made my map. I should have grabbed county FIPS, not county, because even though it does say it's a location, it doesn't know what that location is. So let's watch what happens when I do it properly. Get a very different map. Because it knew right away by the county FIPS, Tableau has enough, we'll call it geographic capability and geographic knowledge that it knows what to do. Of course, it's summed sold price again, which isn't particularly interesting for our purposes. Let's go back to average. Not a big shock. Same, scale is up here. So Racine County is the lowest average price. You can play around with that. And that's just sold price. What else might you want to see? What else might you want to add? Based on stuff we saw in the book, I'll let you play with that yourself, but I also want to show you the different background things we can do with these maps in either form. Up on the map background maps, I can make it dark like they did in the book, which I don't like that look myself, but I like normal. If I don't know why, it seems, as far as I can tell, to do light as the default instead of normal as the default. Those words seem strange to me. And that should Oops. Shouldn't change much on either map. You can also put in the streets. So perhaps visually you're looking for a relationship between prices and major roads. Whether or not you see one in this pattern is up to you. I won't comment on that, but it's something you can play with. You'll notice it processes a little slowly perhaps because there's a lot of processing going on when you start doing geospatial analysis, and I'm adding a lot of variables. You don't see them all necessarily, but a lot of stuff is being processed now. I'll go back to this one for outdoors. You can get the satellite view. So now we see is the average price by city laid over the satellite view of the region. I don't know what the satellite view looks like on this one. Oh, it's processing so much over there that it's slowing down for a moment. There we go. To speed it up, I'm going to put this. Come on. Still processing. There. I'm just going to go back to normal for this one. That way it's only processing in one sheet. Because of the way I did the heat map, it's harder to see that background, but it's there. And this chapter 6 talks about I could do the dots on top of the heat map if I wanted to. I haven't checked the outdoors view yet. Looks like the street view to me. And again, slowing down for processing purposes. There we go. I guess it's a little different than the street view. It was quite a day yesterday making that video. My computer crashed completely. Like a big, ugly, not quite what we call the blue screen of death, but close to it crash. So I lost some work. So we're going to add a little bit to this video and then move on to another one. So it doesn't hurt to have you see again just how to make a quick map. This is more or less where we, oh, nope. It always wants to do some. There we go. This is more or less where we ended. And just before we move on to the next one, there are other variables in here you might want to play with. Anything from property taxes to garage spaces, the number of full baths, days in the market, number of bedrooms. Let's drag average sold price out and put in the number of bedrooms. We've also got, by the way, this is all the years of data in one big mess. We clearly might want to do this by year. That's something that we may play with later. So we would take the date sold and filter perhaps on years. And you can change the filter and look at how the average bedrooms doesn't change a lot, but there's some differences, changes from county to county across the data. So play with some of these other variables, play with the filter, see what you can do, then move on to the next video.